Hi guys and welcome to the Sunderland vs Wycombe match review. Now, before we do get into it, I just want to quickly say that before this match review is now on my Instagram and the jamsarny Instagram account, I am going to be holding competitions before every game I am going to do a match review on. Not all of them I can do a match review, but most of them I can do. I am going to be holding competitions on their Instagram for score predictions, and if you do get them right, you're in with a chance of a shout out at the beginning of that match review. But unfortunately, this is the first time I've ever done that, and no one got this score correct. So we'll just get straight into the review. So Sunderland did draw 1-1 with Wycombe. Now, before the game, we did have the opportunity to go top of the league and overtake Portsmouth, who are currently top, of course. So I thought, the lads will come out with a bit of fire. They'll be wanting to smash this one. It's a really good chance for us. Wycombe have lost their last couple of games, not in, because they lost in the FA Cup against Luton, I think, in the last time they played, and then a game before that in the league they lost as well. So it was a really good opportunity for us to really continue our really good vein of form in terms of winning games anyway. And that was probably the biggest sack of shite I've seen since the Championship, particularly in the first half anyway, because I think that it might be a little bit harsh. I'm just a little bit annoyed, as you would expect. So we did come out, and to be fair, for the first sort of 5-10 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes, we come out quite well. We seemed to be going at them quite a lot. McGeady was our sort of biggest threat. He seemed to be playing quite well every time he got the ball. He did look a real danger, a real menace down the left-hand side. He was constantly trying to come inside or get down to the byline to get balls in. And he did get a really decent chance in the opening stages of the game where he smashed the ball over the bar. A couple of half chances where we might get the ball down to the byline and get the ball in. It's not, the greatest of crosses or anything like that. So, we were putting... There were seeds there that we thought, we might take this game by the scruff of the neck and just smash him, is what I thought. But that quickly calmed down really, really quickly. And to be fair to Wycombe, they come back at us quite a lot. That first half, Wycombe ended up dominating. And when I say dominated, I don't mean they were having chance after chance after chance, because they weren't. If anything, we still had the more clear-cut chances, being the McGeady chance. There was a chance from Gooch on the edge of the box, which only went straight to the keeper. We had chances to get the ball across goal, and it just happened to be a poor cross. But we were pinned back into our own box for large chunks of that first half. It was terrifying to think, the lads should be amped up to potentially go top of the league, and they come out with this. But I can't, fault the back line. They were perfectly fine in the first half. They were defending everything, but we were just playing the ball along the back. With the second we get into the midfield or the final third, we lose the ball immediately, and then they come forward. Admittedly, it would end up with a cross that would either be caught by McLaughlin or we'd deal with it relatively easily, but we just could not get out of our own half at all, even though we still had more possession. Our back line, I've never seen us have so much of the ball across the defence. That's all the entire first half was, pretty much, and then just giving the ball away and just allowing them to get across into the box. So that was pretty much the first half. Maguire in particular in the first half was awful, absolutely awful. He's been absolutely excellent this season, and you do a bad game every now and then, but I thought someone like Maguire would really step up to the plate in games where you could potentially go top, because he's that kind of player, and he has been excellent. I'm not going to slate him too much because he has been so good for us, but he seemed like a completely different person. The ball would be pinged into him, and every touch would bobble away from him, and he would lose the ball, his pass wouldn't quite be there, and he didn't seem right at all. We had Sinclair up top as well, who seemed a little bit lost up there. He works his socks off. That's what I really like about Sinclair. He works his absolute arse off, but he doesn't seem to be that goal scorer that we do need. Madger is more that kind of player. But Sinclair, he'll work his arse off. He'll push and press the back line. Madger doesn't do that. He'll kind of wait for the moment to come to him and present itself in front of him. He won't go and look for it as such. So the first half closes, and I probably wouldn't have been too upset if Wycombe, had been in the lead at that point, because I couldn't see where a goal was going to come from whatsoever. So we come into the second half, and I'm just screaming for power to come on, because Honeyman and McGeoch in the midfield, they had no control of it whatsoever. They didn't have a look in large parts of the game. Honeyman and McGeoch, and I've said before on these reviews that McGeoch, I do know what a good player he is, and that's why it's so frustrating seeing him play the way he is, even though, I don't understand what people are quite seeing from him. I know people are saying he's quite negative in the sense that he gets the ball and he goes backwards, but he is very, very good at calming down situations, picking up the ball when there's players all around you, and he'll find a pass and spray it out and it's calmed down. He's very good at that. But today I have to admit, he was shocking as well. He wasn't great, but it was the same with Honeyman in that first half. But anyway, McGeoch eventually did come off and Power did come on, and it did help us a little bit, not as much as I thought. But everyone just they seemed to lack, you know, they weren't sharp enough. There was no sharpness to the game. There was a massive lack of creativity, I think, throughout the team. Again, I'm not going to fault the back line whatsoever in this game, in this match review. Although they did end up breaking the deadlock, Wycombe. We had a couple of sort of half chances again in the second. There was one point where we had, I think it was between 5 to 7 consecutive corners, and all of them come to nothing. We didn't threaten them one bit. We kept trying these short corners or try to drill it to almost around half, nearly, or just inside the Wycombe half. We're trying to play these smart arse corners that don't come to anything. I think the reason we're doing that is because we don't have that aerial threat in the box. Maybe if we did have a Charlie Wyke when he does come back from injury, maybe we would start whipping balls into the box a bit more. But that just wasn't there either. The good opportunities, corners, and we're wasting them. So wasteful to have that amount of corners in a row and not even once have an opportunity present itself. I don't know whether you can blame it on the delivery or the players in the box. I don't know, but that's by the by. Wycombe did end up breaking the deadlock. Free kick was floated in. It wasn't dealt with well, but then I say I'm not going to select the defenders at all, but it was probably the only lapse of concentration from the defence throughout the game. Ball was floated in from the free kick. It ended up falling to a Wycombe player who had acres of space in our box. He managed to take a touch as well. No one's going anywhere near him, and he just absolutely rifled it into the roof of the net past McLaughlin. There's no chance of saving that, and Wycombe are 1-0 up. And, you know, it's frustrating because, obviously, like I say, we had the opportunity to go top, but in previous games, you know, there hasn't been a game in a while where I think, you know, we played absolutely amazing. That hasn't happened. We've been, you know, we've been grafting our socks off, and we have been scraping results in a lot of games. And in this one, which we did eventually draw, but the way we did approach this game, it just shocked me. You know, that's what you can take it as a positive. You know, that we played poor, but we still managed to get a draw. You can put it that way. But I think it's just a little bit more it makes me a little bit more sour because of the opportunity we did have and the opportunity that presented itself, and we just didn't take it at all. Madger did eventually come on and Sinclair did come off, and to be honest with you, boys and girls, I think that Madger, or we will receive a big offer, or relatively big offer for this league for Madger in January, and I think he will go. And that's just my opinion. I think that will happen, and I wouldn't blame him either. If he went somewhere that, you know, that's not going to give him game time, then you know, that's up to him. But I can see that happening big time, because for a lad of his age, and I have given him a bit of stick in the past for different reasons, but a lad of his age that has the finishing ability that he has, he only needs one chance and he will score it. You know, I think we could see an offer between, you know, 5-10 million for Madger in January, and even though I personally wouldn't want to accept it, I do see it happening. I can see it happening. But yeah, like I say, Madger did come on to try and change things up a little bit up top, because Sinclair wasn't really getting too much. Ball's played in. It's a big scramble in the box, and Madger manages to get the ball, even though there's bodies everywhere, and he's smashed into that bottom left-hand corner to get the equaliser. So yeah, we kept battling. We brought on Oviedo, brought Reece James off to try and get a bit more width, I suppose, on the left-hand side. Reece James, who I do massively rate, by the way, I need to play some record. I think he's an excellent player, particularly for this league. I think he's so solid. He's I think he's quite an intelligent left back as well. A lot of left back these days, they go upfield thinking they're a left winger when they're not. And Oviedo is probably guilty of that as well. But Oviedo probably just has that little bit more quality than Reece James going forward. But Reece James just he'll wait for the opportunity to present itself before he does go forward. So yeah, I think Reece James, you know, I just wanted to say that, you know, I think he is doing really well. But Oviedo did come on, and for the final 5-10 minutes, it was an onslaught. Really, we were just whipping, you know, cross after cross after cross into their area. There was one chance really late in the game. It did fall to Maguire on the edge of the box, and he volleyed it, and it has, you know, he's got a lot of power behind it. It could have gone anywhere, either side of the keeper, and that would have been a goal. But unfortunately, went straight to the goalkeeper. But the full-time whistle does go, and I suppose we can look at it if we're trying to be positive, like I did mention earlier. We played awful, a really bad game, yet we still managed to come away with a point. You know, we still weren't beaten. We're still showing that little bit of fight, considering that we were a goal down and there was time running out, and Madge still managed to get the equaliser. So it's a positive in that way. It's just frustrating when you think what could have been. But we do kick on, and we'll move on and look on to next week, where we do have Walsall away from home, and I think a good performance there. And hopefully we can get back on track, because I don't know what the hell was up with us today. But that is going to be it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. My man of the match, I will more than likely... It's really difficult to give to, so I'll give it to Madge, because I think all over the park we were pretty poor. But Madge, come on, he only needs one chance. He did score it, so I will give man of the match to Madge. But like I say, that is going to be the end of the review, guys. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please hit the like button for me. It is always massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel to become an official member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.